It's August. You know, we've got a long ways to go until we hit November. And here's what you and I both know. In the political sphere, anything can happen. Gosh, you wouldn't know it, right, by reading all the headlines right now or watching mainstream media on TV. Could Donald Trump drop out? The New York Times wrote in the past week. Donald Trump needs a miracle to win, an op-ed in the Post says today. And then there's this one from back in June. Donald Trump is losing the debate over terrorism. That's the Washington Post. Actually, he wasn't then, and he isn't now, given that most voters consider him tougher on terror than Hillary Clinton. In fact, terror and economy, those are the two issues where he dominates her. So why is the mainstream media completely writing off Donald Trump? Regardless of whether you are for or against Donald Trump, journalists might be getting a bit ahead of themselves. Because think about it, time and time again, this is what I was talking about earlier with Howie, polls may say one thing one day and another the next. I mean, case in point, Brexit. Everyone thought the UK would stay put and remain in the EU, and no one quite understood the anger felt by everyday Britons. And the elite had no idea what would actually materialize at the voting booths and the number of people that would come out to vote. So the polls aren't always right. Donald Trump has already been all over the place in these polls, and I imagine he'll continue to be all over the place in these things. But the more he talks about the economy, the more he talks about security, the more he stays on these messages, the harder it's going to be for Hillary Clinton. Meanwhile, consider this. The August polls had Dukakis firmly in the lead at this time in the election cycle. He was actually 18 points ahead of Bush. But in the end, Dukakis wound up nowhere near the White House. So, when it comes to journalism, objectivity matters, and no reporter should write off any candidate this early in the game. It's just not good journalism. That's today's Intel. I'll be right back.